Are you thinking of starting a catfish farm project? Or you already have one? One thing that is critical to the success of a fish farming business is good management. In this video, Mr. Willy Fleuren x-rays those underlying factors you need to consider so as to ensure you maximize the potentials of your fish farming business. I am Dominic Iyodo, and I'll be your guide through this highly informative lecture with the aquaculture expert. Please do well to like this video and subscribe to our channel so you can stay updated with more educational content as this. You're welcome to our channel.
Dominic, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Mr. Willy. Wow, it's been a while. And,
I know, we are ready for another podcast.
Indeed.
We are actually already overdue.
Indeed, a lot of people have been asking, and in response to your request, I have been able to get him again. He's been traveling all over Africa, from Malawi to Congo, and he's even going back again to, I think, where are you going?
I'm going to Congo DLC.
Okay. So, but the good thing is, this time when he came back from Malawi, he organized a seminar, and that seminar had a very interesting representation of people from different parts of Africa, including Ghana. And the title of the seminar.
Yes, we had a very interesting title, Dominic. I even wrote it down, so not to make any mistake.
Okay.
I wrote down as the title of my seminar, Build What You Can Farm. Farm What You Have Built.
That sounds rather philosophical than what a fish farmer would.
Okay, let me try to explain.
Okay.
Because this is something which I always see in many people starting a business, including fish farms, that they have a very big appetite to grow a very massive enterprise or a very massive fish farm. But after trying to build it up, they don't have the means to run the farm on the full capacity. Let me give you an example which makes it even more clear. When you buy a truck from China which can carry 30 tons of load,
Yes.
you buy your load in Lagos from the port, but you don't have the money to buy 30 tons of load.
Yes.
So eventually you are going to carry 5 tons of load.
Indeed.
And the same truck with the same wheel, the same diesel, everything will be the same. So you're carrying 5 tons of load, well, you can actually carry 30 tons of load and you drive all the way to Abuja. Are you going to make money? If you have a fish farm and most of your ponds are empty, are you going to make money? This is what I'm trying to explain to my people. Build what you can farm. And if you have built a farm, farm what you have built.
Interesting.
Now I hope you are clear with my statement.
It makes a whole lot of sense.
So because what will happen when you're running a fish farm under capacity, that means that the little revenue you're going to make, it will be spent on all your overhead and to pay back the investment. Yeah?
I see.
So before you start thinking about what actually do I need to farm to pay back my investment, you have to understand a couple of things. You have to start thinking about what are my direct costs, what are my indirect costs, what is my gross margin, what is my net margin. Because direct cost is what you're using to grow the fish with your feed and to buy the fingerlings. But your indirect costs are all the other expenses such as labor, energy, water, advertisement, consultancies. You know what consultancy means in Nigeria? Huh?
Yeah.
You know what consultancy means in Nigeria? That is, we also call it the grease you need to make things work.
The PR.
The public relations, thank you. Yeah? So all those things are happening to you. Either you farm or you not farm. Yeah? So this has to come from your gross margin. So if your gross margin is very low, how can you start paying for all the other costs?
Interesting.
So with this one, Dominic, is another mathematics.
Oh, there's mathematics in fish farming?
Aye, plenty. But you know, when you look at all other videos about fish, they always talk in parables. But it is the downlaying figures which are telling you what are you doing in your farm or what are you making. Yes? And maybe we can take some of our things we put on our seminar on the sheet. Can we do that?
Certainly.
And we can use it to continue our story about how are you going to do the right thing in your fish farm so that you actually make profit.
That was interesting. I mean,
Okay, thank you.
if that's the case, let's dive into the presentation slide, and so you can shed more light on exactly how we can get to farm to maximize profit and not make unnecessary expenses. So,
Yeah.
build what you can farm and farm what you have built.
Correct.
This was actually the topic of the seminar, and
Correct.
yes,
And I also, that is the title, to also give them the importance of farm what you have built. For that, I have a lot of underlying slides to give the people an advice on that.
okay, then let's dive straight into.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Okay, first of all, you have to understand some accountancy, I would say.
Okay.
Accountancy, even mathematics. I'm sorry, fish farming is not just about feeding the fish and selling them. You also have to do some calculations. You understand, Dominic?
Yes.
So first of all, you have to find out your gross margin. But what is gross margin? Gross margin, what you make of your fish, is the sales of your fish minus all the direct costs you have made. And what is direct cost? Is the cost directly related to your production. Yeah? Directly related to your production. That means feed. Because if you feed more, you produce more. If you feed less, you produce less. The more you produce, the more feed you need. The more you grow fish, the more fingerlings you have to buy. That's why the gross margin is coming from the sales minus the direct cost. So you have to find out what is your gross margin. And it's not so easy because different size of fish you are producing are giving you a different gross margin. When the fish are bigger, they get a better price. But if the fish are getting bigger, you also have a higher feed conversion ratio. With other words, you need more feed per kilo of production of fish. If you grow bigger fish, you need less fingerlings. You understand?
Yeah.
If you grow a fish of half kilo, you need 2 fingerlings for 1 kilo. But if you produce a fish of 1 kilo, you need only 1 fingerling.
I see.
But let's go to the table.
Okay, just before we dive into the table, I just wanted to think about gross margin from a layman's perspective. Will I be right to say gross margin is the same as profit?
No,
Okay.
no. The gross margin is just to cover up for the feed you are buying and the fingerlings, which are 2 major costs anyway.
Okay.
It's actually 80% of your cost or more. But you still have to pay for indirect cost. You know what indirect cost means?
No.
Indirect cost is things which doesn't matter if you produce a lot or you don't produce a lot. You still have that cost. For example, you have 5 staff in your farm.
Okay.
1 security or 2 security, 2 farm managers and an accountant.
Okay.
You have them 5. If you produce a lot of fish,
Yeah.
it's still the same 5 people. If you don't produce a lot or hardly anything, you still have those 5 people.
Like that.
So those costs are always fixed. That's why indirect costs are also called fixed cost. That is what you always pay. It's, you know this is going. If it is the rent of your house, either you live in the house or you don't live in the house, the rent will not change. Is it right?
Yes.
That means it's fixed. So the gross margin you get on your fish is going to provide the money to pay for those fixed or indirect costs. You follow now? If you have a farm, you need to know how much is the budget I need to run my farm without feed and fish. You pay for water, you pay for energy, you pay for labor, you pay for public relations. You know, we will talk about that one. You pay for so many nitty-gritty things. All is a part which every month will be the same. It has to become from the gross margin you make of the selling of the fish minus your direct cost. So now you see, we are becoming an accountant. I'm sorry, you are looking for a podcast about fish, and now I'm teaching you accountancy. But it's the truth.
It's interesting. I'm sure that our viewers are really enjoying the dialogue so far. I guess it's becoming even clearer that fish farming is not just some abracadabra. It's not some try your luck. Mr. Willy is bringing more scientific insight into it. So let's dive in further and see.
Yeah, let's go to my table.
Okay.
Now, the table is quite comprehensive, and it's actually a table which is a table based on the figures of last month.
Okay.
You know, because I'm talking about the sales price, I'm talking about the cost of a juvenile, I talk about the cost of the feed. All those costs are varying, especially in this turmoil period of where we are living in.
Yeah.
Nigeria at the moment is not a country where you can say, today I buy my beer for 350, so that will be the same in 2 months' time.
Yes.
It will be higher. The chicken egg, the fish what you buy for today, it cannot be tomorrow. Prices are going up. The inflation rate in Nigeria is going up very fast. So this is a format which you can fill in for yourselves with your own actual figures. So look at this. The smaller you sell your fish, the more juveniles you need to produce 1 kilo of fish. Because everything I do here in this table is per kilogram of fish. One juvenile is costing 25 naira. That is how we sell them in Abuja. In Lagos it could be lower. In Gombe it could be higher. When you see this now, Dominic, when a juvenile costs 25 naira, and you're selling a fish of 500 gram, that means you need 2 juveniles, isn't it?
Indeed.
Yeah, that means 2 times 25 is 50 naira.
50 naira.
You follow me?
Yeah.
In this calculation, I didn't take anything off for mortality to make the table simple.
Okay.
Yeah, because if there's mortality, you need actually a little bit more.
I get it.
Yeah, when you produce a fish of 1 kilo, that means 1 fingerling is 1 kilo.
Yeah.
That's why you see the unit price of 1 juvenile is only 25 naira. And that's why you see the bigger you produce your fish, the lower the price of the juveniles will be for a kilo of production. Yeah, but so to make it complicated, the bigger you are producing your fish, the worse they will take care of the feed to convert it into flesh. A young fish is very agile, eats and convert it in flesh easily. But if they grow bigger, they eat and they spoil a lot of feed. They're not efficient anymore. What you can see here. Here, this fish of 500 gram, it needs only 500 gram of feed. Because feed conversion ratio of 1 means 1 kilo of feed is 1 kilo of fish. But if you grow a fish of 2 kilo, I need 1.38 kilo of feed to produce 1 kilo of fish. Now you go to the feed cost. Is this line. you also see that the feed for the smaller fish is higher than for the bigger fish.
I see.
Bigger fish have bigger sized feed and the feed per kilo is less. Yeah? So I have to make a correction on this one.
I see.
Now, the cost to produce 1 kilo of fish, you have to multiply the feed conversion ratio with the feed cost.
Okay.
Can you follow that, Dominic?
I see that. Feed
Because if
conversion-
you cannot follow that, then our audience cannot follow it.
Certainly, I understand. But then if I multiply it, it still leaves me with 550. So how come it's 600 here?
Look, the juveniles,
So you then add the initial cost of the juveniles
Yes, you
also
see?
to that.
550 plus 50 is 600.
Okay, good. And this one, 1.5 times 540
Yeah.
plus 25
We'll come
equals
to that.
Interesting.
Yeah?
Interesting. Yes.
You follow me?
Yes, the table is making a lot of sense.
Okay, now we go to the sales price, which is also dynamic. Because today I'm already selling over 1,000 naira, those big ones. You know, prices of fish are rising every week. Because prices of feed also are rising every week.
It's well.
Yes, as well. So you see the prices, smaller fish fetch a lower price per kilo.
Yeah.
This is all in kilo, eh?
Yes.
This is kilo, kilo, kilo. Yeah, this is kilo. So now you see what we are doing here. The cost to produce 1 kilo is 600 naira, but on the other hand, I'm getting 800 naira. That means my gross profit is this minus this.
Yes.
You follow me?
Indeed, it's very clear.
So this table is actually the table which is a result of my figures which I'm getting in
Aqua
my
Garden.
aqua garden,
I see.
my farm.
As of September 2021.
Yeah, this is what I'm doing in aqua garden.
I see.
Yes. So we will come back to it because if you're not getting this,
Yes.
you're getting less results. It will directly have an impact on your gross profit. Yeah. So every kilo I am selling, this is the money I'm making. And you see something interesting. When I produce 1.5 kilo, I make my highest profit margin per kilo.
That is interesting. And then I would assume that when you produce 2 kilo, you should even make more. How come it came down?
It comes down because the converting of the feed is very terrible.
Oh.
The price is good, but they don't utilize my feed very efficient.
So you actually spend more money feeding them.
Yes.
And still yet, so that affected, of course, how much.
Despite the price of the fish is higher,
Yes.
the feed price has gone up so high that my profit margin, gross profit margin is lower. So that's why I am targeting in my farm 1.5 kilo average. I still see some smaller ones. I still see some smaller ones. I still see some bigger ones. Now, if you know your gross margin, now we are going to the indirect cost.
Okay.
Because from our gross margin, I have to start paying all those expenses which are coming up here.
Repairs, hatchery expenses, office, other expenses, bank charges, meal and entertainment, accounting.
And I
fees.
can see I put salaries and wages at the end, but that actually is my highest expense. Yeah. Salary and wages because I pay my people well.
Yes, I see you have quite a lot of happy staff around, and I was wondering how much do you really pay them? I don't know if I'm allowed to ask that.
Okay, let me tell you honestly.
Okay.
My minimum salary for the minimum paid workers is not less than 50,000, and I have people of 150,000.
That's a lot.
I even had a farm manager for 250,000.
Wow.
I pay my staff very well because I believe that is the people who make my farm to be profitable. You know, many Nigerians are saying, "Oh, I not make any money, so why should I pay for salaries?" But you start a business, you start paying your people well, and get the results out of those people. It's not that when you get good money, you start paying your salary, because those people, they're living from hand to mouth. They don't have time. You have made an investment on a long term.
Yes.
So you cannot expect your people who are working for you to live a prospect of years ahead. If you can do that as an investor, but your people should get paid well from the beginning, and not based on if I make my money, I will give you more salary. You can give them incentives, but you have to give them at least the money they need to survive. Because my staff, I think at least 70% of them, they have actually a family. They're running a household. They have children, and they are dependent on this man. So I also never postpone my payment of salaries. Never. Always before the month ending, I have paid. Because that is what is giving them the motivation to work hard. And also they know if the results are good, there will be also incentive. But the baseline has to be there.
I must really commend you, Mr. Willy, for this. I really hope that a lot of other farmers can borrow from this mindset you have, and also take good care of their workers, of their farm workers. So now this indirect cost you're talking about,
Good.
also accounts for your gross. Does it account for how much profit you earn at the end of the day? Because now I'm beginning to also think about the big picture. You spend this much to take good care of your
Let
staff.
me say, in my farm, I will tell you, I spent over 1 million naira, almost 1.2 million naira in a month on an indirect cost, on all those things.
All of these things put
Yes.
together. So how do you make up for that?
Good. Now we go to another slide to show you.
Okay.
If you remember from my table,
The graphs here now.
the graphs is here, but the table was showing I make on 1 kilo 250 naira.
Okay.
You remember that?
Yes, yes.
Gross margin.
Yes.
But I'm spending 1.2 million, every month on indirect costs. So now the 1.2 million, I have to divide with 250 naira. You follow me that? I have 1.2 million on indirect expenses,
Yes.
fixed cost.
Fixed cost. Yeah.
But on every kilo I sell, I make 250 naira gross margin.
Yes.
Now I divide my fixed cost with 250 naira,
I get.
and it comes to around 5.5 ton. So what does it mean? I have to sell 5.5 ton of fish to cover up for those expenses. And that is also called my break-even point, as you can see in the map. 1 ton is 1,000 kilograms.
So 5 tons will be 5,000 kilograms.
Correct.
Right? So you sell 5,500 kilograms. You have to sell that much first.
If I don't sell that, I have a negative cash flow. Then I have to start borrowing money. I have to get it from one or the other place.
So before we begin to calculate how much you're earning from your farm, 5,000, the sales worth of 5,500 tons has to be removed first.
That one is just to pay my salaries and all the rest.
I guess.
Yes. Now the question you have to ask me now is, but what is the capacity of your farm?
Good.
Because this 5.5 ton can be low or can be high. Yeah.
Yes.
But to be honest, I'm farming over 25 ton at the moment. In a month, 25,000 kilo on the average per month. So I'm far ahead of the 5.5 ton. So you see, I'm shifting that 5.5 ton.
Yes.
Is to pay my salaries and all the rest.
Yes.
All that what I'm selling more is to pay back my investments and to enjoy my life.
Wow. So I see this line now from this place all the way to this wall here. But then actually this graph is not reflecting.
That is my maximum capacity, but I'm already over it.
Oh, really?
I told you, I'm a one, I always want to do more.
I see, my Dutchman, you guys always have a way of doing above. You always do you better your best all the time.
Yes, I like that.
I like that too.
Because I always see an opportunity to produce more.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So now,
So I'm sitting already above this 22.
This is incredible. Well, then
Now you see, from here, this is my money. Yes, this is my money. Yeah. So here, from this is the 1 million to pay for my indirect cost.
I see.
I'm doing 4 million at 21 ton. That means 3 million I can stick in my own pocket and my partner.
Wow.
So we can share the 3 million.
It's indeed a lucrative business.
It's only lucrative if you get your production facility right and your farm is filled up. You know, you farm what you have built, which you are going to see later.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
because I cannot farm with empty ponds.
Yes. You know, I am really looking forward to see how this farm. I mean, I want to see the farms, and I'm sure our viewers will want to see the farm that is doing these figures, right?
It's Aqua Garden now.
Oh yes. So we'll go there from here to have a look around and then let them match reality with statistics.
Good.
So
But I have to go a bit further
okay, please.
because this line you see, this line is based on a gross margin of 250 naira per kilo because of my good production results. Now you have a farm where everything is going badly. Your fish are dying, your feed is stolen,
Yes.
your fish, you are buying the juveniles from the market, they don't grow.
Yes.
Yeah, you will not get the production figures I am getting. With other words, your feed conversion ratio will be very poor. You use more feed to produce 1 kilo of fish. Automatically, your gross margin will not be 250 naira, will be even not more than 200 or 150 or 100 naira.
I see.
And what will it be, the impact? I will show you in the next slide. Now you see another slide.
Yes.
This line is my line I'm getting in my farm.
Okay.
And maybe some other farmers in other places in Nigeria, they even have a better line than me.
Okay.
If I know that they are doing it, I go and visit them. I want to know their secret. But I'm be honest to you, most of them, they are below my line. Yeah?
So
You can see this line here. That means, this line means you have to produce 18 ton of fish to pay back your indirect cost because your margin is so low, it's just 50, 60 naira. That means only that little part is your profit.
and the likely cause of these kinds of
Is
performance.
because they don't have the knowledge of feeding the fish well. They don't buy the good quality feeds.
Okay.
They don't buy the good quality fingerlings.
Okay.
They don't do good water management. Actually, they don't know how to farm fish.
I see.
That's why I wrote a book, remember?
Yes.
My Fish Farmer's Handbook.
Yes.
But most people, they say the book is 5,500 naira. The cheapest version is too expensive. But if you can look at those figures, if you farm more efficiently, you make millions more or you lose millions less.
You know, I must seize the opportunity to stress on the need to hurry now and get your own copy of the African Catfish Farmer's Handbook. It's actually a masterpiece in the words of many farmers have reviewed it. So if you're watching the video, hurry now. You can click on the notification link at the top there or go to the description of this video and you know exactly how to get the book. Okay, let's continue with this. Sorry.
Good. I want to show you a figure, a graphic. That's the next graphic.
Okay.
How you derive to bad production figures. Because the most important thing is the pattern of feeding.
I see.
Yeah?
How all of those factors that we talked about that could lead to a bad gross margin can be avoided?
Feed is actually 80% of your cost.
Indeed.
Yeah. So just feed well. What is feeding well? Because that is always the question. How much I feed my fish?
Indeed.
And that is not easy. Because there are three levels of feeding. There's underfeeding,
Okay.
there's optimal feeding,
Okay.
and there's overfeeding. Underfeeding, optimal feeding, overfeeding. I actually forgot one. And no feeding. Because that also happens a lot in Nigeria. Because I told you, they build a farm which they cannot accommodate. They stock 30, 40,000 fingerlings and they don't have the money to feed the fish. Which result in underfeeding or actually no feeding. Yeah? So what will happen? Let's say you feed, this is the feeding ratio on the x-axis.
Okay.
X-axis.
Yes.
The growth rate is on the
Y-axis.
y-axis. Yeah? So you feed small. Here is you don't feed. If you don't feed, your fish actually don't grow. What will happen with your fish if you don't feed?
They lose weight.
Aha, you see negative growth. You see negative growth? This is growth plus, this is growth down. If you don't feed, you don't grow. You're actually losing weight.
Yeah.
My wife is trying that already for so many years. Yeah? But she doesn't achieve it.
The shedding weight.
Because that is what the problem is with human beings. They get too fat.
You get too fat.
Yes? Because what you want as a human being is to maintain your weight. That we call maintenance level. That means you feed to a certain amount, you don't grow and you don't lose weight. But let's say I'm feeding my fish for a reason. I feed my fish for the reason I want to grow them, isn't it?
Exactly.
So when I go to maintenance level, then I'm wasting my feed. All that is waste. Yeah? So you want to grow your fish to the optimum level. You want to grow them so that they can grow as fast as possible. And the funny thing is, if you grow them on an optimum level, they also convert the feed most efficient. Yeah? Because this is the feed conversion ratio, and the lower the feed conversion ratio is, it means the better it is. Yeah? And if you go over that level, the feed will be spoiled. That means you throw food in the water which they don't eat. It will just flush out of the system. And if you are not maintaining this level, you will get a gross margin which will not be as good as my own. Yeah? That means your capacity of your farm, you're just using it to recover your fixed cost.
This is really interesting, I must say. This deep insight you've been able to bring out of what one would ordinarily assume to be just a business of throwing food into the water or taking care of the farm. There's actually a lot more analysis to this, and Mr. Willy once again has helped us to appreciate this. For those of you watching this video from any part of the world, I urge you to get your copy of the African Catfish Farmer's Handbook so you can get deeper insights into these and even more on how to ensure you maximize the business of catfish farming. This is mind-blowing. I never knew fish farming could get this much depth in analysis, and I'm sure our viewers would also be thrilled about how much insight you've been able to draw from your records, and then be able to even bring out graphs and representation about it. But you know what I really want to ask, if you don't take any offense, I mean, do you really practice all of these that you preach?
I like that, Dominic. So you're like Thomas.
Oh,
you can't believe what you have not seen.
No.
Okay, I have nothing to hide. Let's go to the farm and look at my empty tanks.
Please, I wouldn't mind. I'm sure
I
you guys
just counted my empty tanks.
Please.
I'm even telling you today, my forecast was for this farm meant to be 200 ton production per annum.
Yeah.
I'm already over 250 ton.
Wow.
You know, I'm from the Netherlands. We always like to go up. From 250 ton, I even tried to do 280 ton.
This is interesting.
Yeah.
From here, just like he said, he's going to walk us through the farm. I can't wait for us to see how well this farm, Aqua Gardens, is doing. And I mean, we can actually match the facts we've seen now with the reality on
No,
ground.
all my figures I are giving you today on the laptop are based on the farm I'm running. So let's go. Please, Dominic, feel free.
So we're heading in there.
Yeah,
Let's
we're going to show you all my sections. Yeah. This is the grow out section because it's closest to the place where we were sitting.
Okay.
Because our sitting place there is our sales point.
Yeah.
Yeah. Come and see my ponds. You can see my ponds which I just stocked my fish. I use bird net.
I see. As you can see, there are fishes all over the place.
Yeah. I don't think we have any empty ponds at the moment.
No.
All the ponds are filled up. And we have stocked them all in the numbers we want to stock them.
Interesting.
So the bigger ponds is 5,500. The smaller ponds, these are smaller ponds, is 4,500. About.
See.
Yeah,
I see.
on the average. And we have fish to sell.
I see some fishes all over.
There's a little mortality here. We have a little challenge here. I
Okay.
think we are treating them now, eh? They are on treatment. But to be honest, Dominic,
Okay, sir.
when you have more than, let's say, 200,000 fish,
Yes, sir.
there's always a few they are dead. I will
Indeed.
give you the example. On Tuesday, my neighbor was very sick. The night, they were knocking on our gate. And we had to bring the man to hospital. He died.
Oh,
He was not breathing anymore. Now we're looking for mortuary in Abuja. I spent from 1 o'clock till 5 o'clock to look for empty place in the mortuary. I just want to tell you, where there's life, there's also death.
indeed,
It's an integrated part.
indeed,
Our mortality, yes, this one is a problem. I agree.
indeed.
Yeah? Maybe in the next podcast we can talk about mortality, diseases, and the rest.
Indeed, I'll be looking forward to that. I'm sure our subscribers will also be looking forward to know how to avoid mortalities on their farms. But it's indeed a whole lot. I see everywhere filled up. Everywhere is filled up.
Yes. And these ones, we are going to sell them on Thursday.
Okay.
This pond will be around 7.5 ton. Then this will be the next pond. Next
Okay.
Jabi.
Interesting.
And we have a lot of fish. We are now getting into November.
Okay.
So for November, December, I have a lot of fish.
Interesting. I can see everywhere. I can see them everywhere. Indeed, you are farming what you have built. Because, oh,
These are our broodstocks.
okay,
We have 2 small units for our broodstocks.
okay. You have here, and then the other side.
And you see all the ponds are filled up.
I see them. I see them. Everywhere is filled
So at
up.
least I practice what I preach.
Obviously,
But let's go and see the hatchery too.
the hatchery, and I'll be going in there. It might just be a little dark inside, but you can see the hatchery building made with aluminium, and obviously the design is with a purpose to ensure that there's warmth in there for the fries.
This place is our hatchery. Dominic, sorry to interrupt, though. I have to have a little meeting.
Okay.
somebody I want to attend to. But Danladi, one of our farm staff,
Okay.
farm operators, you can go through it and you can see our fries we have in our farm.
Oh, that's interesting.
To continue the journey with tanks.
Okay.
With
Okay.
fish inside.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. Danladi. So it will be a pleasure working with you. Let's see how we can go through together. You right? Okay. Okay.
This way we produce our fries,
Yes.
fingerlings,
Okay.
fingerlings, then to our mussels.
Okay.
Then from there we call them fingerlings and young rice.
Oh, I see. I
Probably
see.
the standard.
I see. This is actually very hot in here, to be honest. Is there any reason for this? Why is there no fan?
Yeah, if you can look at the roof,
Yes.
very close, so that because that is the temperature and the size of these fries.
Yes.
This is what it is.
I see. And who's the gentleman there? Hello.
This is Sally.
Okay, Mr. Sally. Oh,
It's feeding the fry.
oh, really? You feed them? You feed them with that little spoon in your hand?
Yeah,
Okay, that is their meal for the afternoon.
yeah.
I see. So, and they all like to be in this this warm atmosphere, right? They continue like this till they go.
The temperature requirement for them is 27 to 31 degrees Celsius.
I see. So they will survive very well in this for the next how many weeks?
For the next 3 to 4 weeks,
Oh, I see.
they like to prepare this temperature before they move out of the place.
Interesting. I'll come back to you, sir. Thank you. These are the recirculatory aquaculture system designed by Mr. Willy Fleuren. This is his own invention, and he's been setting up this farm across Africa. Setting up this hatchery, I meant to say, across Africa. This is Aqua Gardens Ltd. He runs this farm with his partner, the both of them together have been able to ensure good standard, and I must say that the result we see here is incredible. This is Danladi. Let us go back to him to see what more he has to tell us. Okay?
This is our price.
Okay.
You notice it very well because of the light.
Yes.
The fish they are really very inside. What do you give it off the light?
Okay.
You see when they come out because they don't do it.
Okay. See, the light has gone off. I see. I see.
Look at it well. We have some cheetahs inside. Fast growers.
Those are the ones you call shooters.
Look at it very well. You see some arrows coming up and going down.
How many days or should I say weeks are these ones?
This one they are going to 4 weeks.
Oh, really? So they should be out of this place when?
Any moment we are trying to create a space for them to go out there.
Okay.
Probably Monday, tomorrow, or next.
This is interesting, I must say. So, I see. So this is a recirculatory aquaculture system. I see. And this is, I see. This is a filtration unit, right? Okay.
Here, the water pump from here, it makes it go well. Once it's supplied here, then the water come back to this place,
Okay.
and back to the here.
I
The
see.
level of the water remains inside.
I see. I see. Indeed. So you have the same unit as, how many units like this is on this?
This is 6 units.
We have 6 units on this row. Mr. Sally was feeding them earlier, right?
Yeah. them feeding from this side to go back to the old one out there.
I see. So you still have some fries. These ones are also the same age as the first one?
Yeah, the same hatchery.
I see. They were done the same day.
Yeah.
So those shooters, what do you do about them now?
Yeah, we are going to grade them and remove the fish from the shooters. Different. And put them different types.
I see.
Just leaving them together like this. Continue swallowing the small ones.
I see.
The number of the pieces of our fish will reduce.
I get.
It's not good.
I get. Okay, well, thank you so much, Mr. Danladi. Let me just walk through the farm. Walk through the remaining units you have, because I know it's the same. The heat in here is very severe, I must say. But like they mentioned, it's deliberate, and this is just what the fries need to grow very well. It's the optimal temperature needed for their growth. Thank you so much, Mr. Danladi. Keep up the good job. Well done.